Inside a giant U.S. Navy destroyer riding monster waves at sea, the ocean doesn't care how powerful you are. It doesn't care how advanced your weapons are, how expensive your ship is, or how experienced your crew may be. When waves rise higher than buildings and winds scream across the sea at hurricane force, even one of the most powerful warships ever built must fight to stay in control. This is what it's really like. Inside a giant United States Navy destroyer as it rides through monster waves in the open ocean. From the bridge where officers navigate through violent storms, to the engine rooms where massive gas turbines keep the ship moving, to the sailors working below deck while thousands of tons of steel rise and crash against towering walls of water. This is the story of one of the world's most capable warships facing nature at its most unforgiving. The destroyer. At first glance, a U.S. Navy destroyer looks almost unstoppable. Modern destroyers like the Arleigh Burke-class stretch more than 500 feet, or about 155 meters in length. They displace roughly 9,000 to over 9,700 tons, depending on the flight and configuration. Their hull is built from high-strength steel, designed to survive combat damage, harsh weather, and years of deployment across the world's oceans. Powered by 4 General Electric LM2500 gas turbines, these ships can exceed speeds of 30 knots. They carry advanced radar systems, missiles, torpedoes, helicopters, and electronic warfare equipment capable of defending entire naval strike groups. But despite all of that technology, the ocean is still stronger. Meeting the sea. When calm waters suddenly become rough, the ship begins to change. The gentle rolling motion disappears. Instead, the bow starts climbing enormous walls of water. Each wave can lift thousands of tons of steel several stories into the air before gravity takes over. Then sea. Yums the crash. The entire ship slams back into the sea with incredible force. Inside, every sailor feels it. Doors shake, pipes vibrate, equipment rattles, coffee cups slide across tables. Even experienced sailors know immediately that the sea has become serious. What creates monster waves? Contrary to what many imagine, monster waves are not always hurricanes. Large waves can develop from several factors. Powerful storms thousands of miles away can generate long ocean swells. Strong winds blowing over great distances build wave heights continuously. Ocean currents can combine with weather systems, making waves even steeper. Sometimes multiple wave systems intersect, producing unusually large waves. In severe conditions, waves exceeding 40 feet are possible. Extreme storms can produce even larger seas. For any ship, including naval vessels, these conditions demand constant attention. Inside the bridge, high above the water sits the bridge. This is where the commanding officer and watch team control the ship. Large windows provide visibility, but during violent weather, water frequently crashes across them. Sometimes visibility drops to almost nothing. Navigation radar becomes essential. Officers monitor wind speed, wave direction, ship speed, nearby traffic, water depth, and every course correction. The helmsman keeps both hands firmly on the controls. Unlike driving a car, steering a destroyer through heavy seas requires anticipating the movement of the next wave long before reaching it. One wrong angle can make the ride far more violent. Experienced officers often adjust course slightly to reduce the pounding while still maintaining the mission. Every decision matters. The motion. Most people think ships simply float. Reality is far more complicated. A destroyer constantly moves in 6 different ways. It pitches forward and backward, rolls side to side, yaws left and right, heaves vertically, surges forward, and sways sideways. During rough weather, several of these motions happen simultaneously. Crew members quickly learn to walk differently. One hand is almost always touching something solid. The Navy calls this one hand for yourself and one hand for the ship. It's one of the first lessons every sailor learns, because when the deck suddenly tilts beneath your feet, gravity changes instantly. Life below deck. Surprisingly, life continues. Meals still have to be prepared. Equipment still requires maintenance. Watch rotations continue around the clock. Below deck, sailors sleep inside compact berthing compartments stacked with bunks. During heavy seas, sleeping becomes difficult. Every impact echoes through the hull. The ship rolls. The mattress shifts. Personal belongings must be secured. Anything left loose becomes dangerous. A small object can become a flying projectile. Every cabinet is locked. Every tool is secured. Safety becomes everyone's responsibility. The heart of the ship, deep below the waterline, lies the engineering spaces. These are among the loudest places aboard. Here, 4 powerful gas turbines generate the energy needed to propel the destroyer. Unlike older steam-powered warships, modern destroyers rely on gas turbines similar in principle to aircraft engines. They produce enormous horsepower while allowing rapid acceleration. Engineers constantly monitor temperatures, oil pressure, fuel flow, electrical generation, cooling systems, and propulsion shafts. Storms don't stop machinery. If anything goes wrong during rough seas, the crew must repair it immediately, no matter how violently the ship is moving. The bow takes the impact. The front of the destroyer experiences the harshest punishment. Each time the bow climbs a wave, the ship briefly seems to pause at the top. Then gravity pulls thousands of tons downward. The bow crashes into the next wave. Water explodes over the forecastle. Spray shoots high into the air. Sometimes the entire front deck disappears beneath white water. Despite appearances, this is exactly what the ship was designed to withstand. Its structure absorbs tremendous forces while protecting the crew inside. Damage control. Every sailor aboard a U.S. Navy destroyer receives damage control training. Whether they work in engineering, operations, medical, or aviation, everyone learns how to fight flooding, fires, smoke, and structural damage. Because at sea, help may be hundreds of miles away. Heavy weather increases the importance of these skills. The crew constantly checks watertight doors, drainage systems, pumps, electrical compartments. Leaks that seem minor in calm conditions can become much more serious during violent seas. Preparation saves lives. The Combat Information Center. Unlike the bridge, the Combat Information Center, or CIC, has no windows. Everything inside depends on sensors, radar, sonar, satellite communications, navigation systems, electronic warfare equipment. Operators track surrounding ships, aircraft, weather conditions, and potential threats 24 hours a day. Even during severe storms, the destroyer remains fully capable of performing military missions. Modern radar systems continue scanning the skies regardless of rough seas. The ship remains a combat platform, even while battling nature. Flight operations. At the stern sits the helicopter flight deck. Normally, MH-60 Seahawk helicopters can take off and land to perform anti-submarine warfare, search and rescue, surveillance, and logistics missions. But monster waves create enormous challenges. As the destroyer pitches and rolls, the flight deck moves dramatically. Safe helicopter operations require strict limits on sea state, wind, and ship motion. When conditions become too dangerous, flights are suspended. Safety always comes first. Living with the storm, storms can last for days. The crew adjusts. Meals are amplified. Movement around the ship is limited. Weather reports are updated continuously. Every sailor wears appropriate protective gear. Outside, the ocean remains relentless. Towering gray waves stretch toward every horizon. The sky blends into the sea. Rain reduces visibility. Wind whistles through antennas and cables. Despite everything, the mission continues. Technology meets experience. Advanced technology helps modern destroyers survive. Weather forecasting provides early warning. Satellite communications keep commanders informed. GPS assists navigation. Digital stabilization systems monitor ship motion, but no computer replaces experience. Captains rely on years at sea. Helmsmen develop instinct. Engineers recognize subtle machinery changes. Lookouts remain alert despite rain and darkness. Technology supports people. People make the final decisions. Why train in bad weather? Many naval exercises intentionally continue in rough seas. Why? Because real-world operations don't stop when storms arrive. If humanitarian aid is needed, if an aircraft carrier requires escort, if a submarine must be tracked, if a missile defense mission begins, the destroyer must be ready. Training during difficult conditions prepares sailors for reality. Confidence comes from experience. Respect for the ocean. Every sailor eventually learns the same lesson. Never underestimate the sea. Even massive destroyers can appear tiny among enormous swells. From a distance, the ship climbs one mountain of water, only to disappear into the next valley. Nature constantly reminds humanity who is truly in charge. The ocean has challenged explorers, merchant ships, fishing vessels, and navies for centuries. Modern engineering has improved survival dramatically, but respect remains essential. The crew. Perhaps the destroyer's greatest strength isn't its radar, or missiles, or engines. It's the crew. More than 300 highly trained sailors work together every day. Some stand watch through the night, some repair machinery, some prepare food, some monitor weapons, some provide medical care. Every job matters. During storms, teamwork becomes even more important. No one faces the ocean alone. Mission never stops, whether deployed in the Atlantic, the Pacific, the Mediterranean, the Arctic, or the Middle East. U.S. Navy destroyers operate year-round. Storms are simply part of life at sea. These ships escort aircraft carriers, protect merchant shipping, conduct missile defense, track submarines, support humanitarian operations, and maintain freedom of navigation across international waters. The weather may slow operations, but it rarely stops them. Conclusion: when people see a U.S. Navy destroyer cutting through calm blue water, it looks almost invincible. What they rarely witness is the same ship battling towering waves under dark skies. Inside those steel walls, hundreds of sailors continue doing their jobs, while the ocean tests every system, every procedure, and every person aboard. The destroyer survives not because it defeats the sea, but because it was designed, maintained, and crewed to endure it. Every storm becomes another reminder that even the world's most advanced warships must respect the power of nature. And every time a giant U.S. Navy destroyer emerges from monster waves and continues its mission, it demonstrates not only remarkable engineering, but the professionalism, discipline, and resilience of the sailors who serve aboard. Because on the open ocean, the mission never ends. Only the waves keep changing.